and the wacky Gun Talk After Show crew is gathered, and there's no telling what they'll say.
After show time, we're going to have some fun today. Hello, guys.
Greetings.
Hello.
Michelle and Jim are here. So how's your week going?
Great.
Good. Shot anything?
No to either one
so far,
of those
so good?
things. Yeah. Goodness. Woo. How about you, Jim? Is there something I don't know?
No. Like they say, any time you don't have to shoot somebody, it's a good day.
It's a good day.
I had a good week in that case, yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's right. So, yeah, I actually went out of the house. I got busy, got distracted yesterday, and was driving down the road and went, I didn't put on my gun today.
You were naked?
And I was naked out there. So I was careful. I was real darn careful.
I bet.
Not that I'm not careful anyway, but it was a weird feeling. You know what I mean?
So did you, reduce your normal road rage a little or anything? Or
I hardly ran anybody off the road.
Oh, okay. You're cutting back, huh?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Well, they have roads in Montana and North Carolina. We have callers from both.
We should go talk to folks. Mark's with us out of Park City, Montana. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Very good, sir. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, you bet. It's kind of the crazy part of the show. This is the fun part, so I'm glad you called in. Have you ever listened to the after show before?
First time. I've listened. I'm a pretty religious listener to the radio show, but I guess I have to get on the computer to hear the rest of it.
That's right. You got to check out the podcast. So how can we help you today?
Well, I'm calling because you and I have talked a little bit about the NRA the last few months, and the big elections are coming up, and I'm going over them. I have no idea where any of these people stand on cleaning up the NRA. It's very distressful to me, the state that the NRA is in, and I'm just trying to find, if you know some places where people's opinions are. I mean, they have little bios in the magazine, but they don't really tell you anything else. And
right.
And I want to get people in there that want to make NRA healthy again.
I hear you. There is an outfit that is, selecting, saying who they think you ought to endorse or vote for. It's called Save the Second. And they go SaveThe2A.org. I don't necessarily agree with them. I narrowed it down. I picked one. And there is a line of thinking that says, if you want to increase the chances that you get the one you want, you vote for only one or only, for five or whatever, and just don't cast all the votes that you're allowed to cast, and that loads them up. So, in fact, I don't know if you heard, I had Phil Journey on the show earlier today, and he's the only one that I've said that I would vote for. And I would love it if he came out and said, hey, I'm all for getting rid of Wayne, but he's not going to do that because he's just said, look, I'm going to go in there and take a look at it and see what's actually going on, because at this point, all we really know is what we've read in the New York Times and all. Unfortunately, I think they probably have the story right, and I think the stuff we're reading is probably accurate. But I'm going to support Phil. I can't offer any thoughts on anybody else. And look, here's the reality. I mean, the ugly reality is LaPierre and his group control the board. You don't get selected by the nominating committee unless Wayne says it's okay for the nominating committee to put you on the list. And so basically everybody who's on the list from the nominating committee are handpicked and supporters of Wayne for the most part. The reality is nothing's going to change unless something really weird happens. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to be an outside force. I don't think the board is going to fix the NRA. I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till the tsunami of the New York Attorney General's office comes through there and wrecks it. Yeah, I mean, and the problem is it could be like a little tweaking. It could be indictments. It could be arrest. Or it could be they come in and say, we are taking over the control of the NRA, which they absolutely have the legal ability to do. The New York Attorney General's office has the legal ability to take over the management of the NRA because the NRA is incorporated in New York, stupidly. They were told 20 years ago, I know the guy that talked to him, who told their attorney, you have to get it out of New York. This is what the laws are there. They could take it over. Here, we've got it all set up. We can incorporate it. And you don't have to move anything. We'll incorporate it in Idaho. And the attorney said, I don't know anything about Idaho law. We're not going to do anything about that. They couldn't see that far down the road.
Wow.
So my great fear, honestly, is that they've screwed it up so much, and Wayne has screwed it up so much, I'm sorry, but he has, that the Attorney General's office is going to come in and indict people, arrest people, maybe put people in handcuffs, I don't know, but basically manage it or take it over to, I mean, there's a possibility that we end up without an NRA at all. And all through what I call, at least it appears to me, to be the greed of an awful lot of people, from Ackerman McQueen to the management, and all working together and all sucking tens of millions of dollars out of it every year, sucking tens of millions of dollars out of the NRA, going into their own pockets. And now it's left without much money, and they really cannot be much of a factor in this election where we need them really bad. And it's just devastating. I'm depressed by the whole situation, honestly.
Well, I am too, and I mean, I'm not giving them any more money until they clean it up, and I haven't really talked to anybody that I know that's interested in giving them money until this is worked out and they become transparent and quit blowing people's money that don't make, making $30,000 or $35,000 a year.
But part of the problem is that a lot of folks aren't even aware that this is going on at all.
Yeah, unbelievably. Yeah, but a lot of NRA members don't even know this is going on. But an awful lot are, and a lot of them are doing what Mark said. Just, hey, I'm not giving you any more money. And a lot of them have shifted. They're giving money to the Second Amendment Foundation or to other groups and saying, look, I'm still in the fight. I'm still going to help with Second Amendment, but I'm just going to give it to other groups. And that's okay, too. As long as you don't get out completely, you got to move your money to some other place. If you say, I'm going to join Second Amendment Foundation. I've had a lot of people say, hey, I found out I could get a life membership over at Second Amendment Foundation for a fraction of the cost of a life membership over at NRA. And they're doing that. So just food for thought. Okay. But yeah, take a look at Phil Journey. That would be the one name I could suggest. If you want more information, go to the website, save the 2A, the number 2, savethe2a.org, and they have suggestions there. And as I say, I'm not saying that I'm supporting that list at all. I would probably disagree with some of them, but at least it's a place where you can go look. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Hank is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Hey, Hank, how are you?
Hey, Tom, I'm doing great. Excuse me. Pardon the dry throat. I've been doing some honeydews around the yard. More honeydews, more shooting time when the wife comes home.
It all works out. It all works out. That's right. So what's going on?
I'm learning the game. So my stepdaughter calls me up. She's taken the CCW course.
Okay.
And she said, I don't have a weapon of my own, so I'll need to borrow one to take the practical part, shooting. Mm-hmm. I said, sure, I'll bring a few. We'll go over to the range one Saturday. I'll bring a few of mine. You pick out one that, want to practice with, and then take the test. She ended up choosing my Rock Island 1911. I've called you about it before. I even sent you a picture of the target that I qualified with it, and it's a really sweet shooting pistol, a little 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
So she started practicing. There were a few malfunctions, and I taught her how to clear those, because when time for the test came, she had to do it all herself, 30 rounds at the target. 21 of them had to be within the 7 ring, or she wouldn't pass.
Okay.
So luckily there were, like I said, there were a couple of malfunctions. She cleared them on the test itself. There was one, she cleared it herself, went on to complete the whole thing by herself. As she walked up to the counter, the guy looked up and he goes, I don't even need to count those. He said, darned any outside the 7 ring. And actually, there were only 3 in the 7 ring. All the rest were in the X ring and the 10 ring.
All right. With a 45?
A 9.
Well, no, 9mm.
Okay, I thought you said 1911.
But still,
it's a 9mm 1911.
Gotcha.
Yep. I mean, she loaded all the magazines herself. She prepped it all up on the final test and did all 30 rounds. It ran, other than the one malfunction which she cleared, it ran perfect. And the one before it, she only had one outside the 7 ring, and all the others were in the X ring. But unfortunately, she had a malfunction, and she added 1 round to it, so she couldn't count that one, so she had to do it again.
Let me ask you, Hank, what other guns did you have her try? I mean, to me, it's a little unusual that she would select a 1911.
I have a Canik TP9. Also have I don't know if you've heard of them, the Sarsilmaz, the SAR 9. It looks like a VP9 and a Glock 19 had a baby.
A wild night at a Vegas shooting range. You never know what's going to happen.
She tried that one, and I also had my. I've got a little Taurus G2, and she tried all of them. She liked the 1911 the most. She said it felt the best in her hand, and I said, "There you go. That's what matters."
So,
I didn't try to force anything on it.
Michelle, your thoughts on that?
I'm not surprised.
No, I mean, a 9mm 1911 is one of the sweetest shooting pistols you can put in your hand.
It really is, yeah.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it, and she did wonderful. I myself carry the Taurus from time to time. I've actually put over 1,000 rounds through it, and done light modifications. I put a new spring and guide rod kit in it and painted the sights. That was Jim's idea, the nail polish paint. And and it worked. It shoots nicely. I keep it with me. I've got 4 extra mags, 12-round. Well, I've got 3 extra 12-round mags and a 17-round G3 mag, and it all functions. Like I said, it functions flawlessly. There's never ever been a malfunction at all with that pistol, and it shoots nice. Let's circle back to talk about your daughter-in-law for a second. How old is she? She's 27.
And she got a carry permit. So, do you know, is she going to carry?
I do not know. I told her if she wants any further help from me, just let me know.
Okay.
We talk regularly because of our granddaughter, so. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure our granddaughter will end up shooting when she gets old enough.
So,
at least if I have anything to do with it.
Right.
Did she ask if she could have your Rock Island Armory 9?
She sort of hinted at it. She's like, "Boy, this thing is really nice. I'd like a little more time to try it out." Hint, hint.
Is that a full size? Did I miss that? Is it a full size 9?
No, it's an officer's model.
Officer's model. Nice.
Oh, okay, smaller.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's very concealable. It's really nice.
Did she keep her target?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She showed her at that time fiance, now husband, and he he kind of swallowed hard.
But you know what? She wanted to learn, and so her ears were open.
Oh yes,
yep.
Yes.
Awesome.
She paid attention to every detail I gave her. She talked to the people there at the range too. And I'm sure she'll probably sign up for lessons if she,
Okay, that's where I was going.
If she wants to.
Does she live in the area, in the Winston-Salem area?
Yes.
Is there a good shooting range there?
There's a couple ranges, but they're all they're legal type ranges, if you know what I mean, like paperwork and no drawing from the holster and no speed shooting and this and that, unless you sign up for classes, and then they have instructors who will one-on-one or one in a group teach you, that way. But they won't let you practice on your own. Right. There is one outdoor.
You say there is an outdoor range also?
There's one outdoor range. It's a little further away, but it's kind of pricey. It's several $100s just to fill out the membership application. And then, a few $100s a year.
You know what I'm thinking? I know you guys are already ahead of me. You could, as whatever the next gift occasion is, buy her a class.
That's a thought. Yeah.
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 And, what we find, and Michelle, you could talk about this better than I can, but we find that a lot of women really like to go shooting, but they like to do it with their friends.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, always.
So talk about how that might happen.
I don't know a lot of her friends at this point.
Well, here's the deal. Encourage her to post the picture of her with her target on her social media.
Correct.
Oh, I don't really have to encourage her. I'm sure she already did, and I just missed it.
Okay. And then she could, if you buy her a class, she could start inviting her friends to go. Well, hey, let's all take a class together. And then maybe we could go have a night out together to go shoot. Mm-hmm. And if they won't let you draw, that's okay. They're still shooting and they're still having fun. And here's the thing: if they start doing it as a group, they will continue to do it as a group, and then
or a league or whatever,
or a league, or even private lessons. Say, hey, look, we got 4 or 5 women who want to take a private lesson. Let's go spend a day doing concealed carry class or something.
Yeah, because our female behavior is not to do it alone.
Correct.
I mean, anything, the gym, you tend to go out in a group, you tend to go shopping in a group, all of that type of thing.
You go to the bathroom in a group.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but obviously, yes.
You knew that's what we were going to do.
Touche.
But, with that, though, it pushes one another, too. So they're going to push one another to a different level. And I would just like to put out there, too, I know people are like, oh, but there's another class and another class. Yeah, if you want to learn how to play golf, you should take lessons to play golf. And so if you want to learn how to pull a holster correctly, then you should take proper classes to do so. That way you're not potentially injuring yourself in the process.
That's a good, I like that analogy. It's like, if you said, okay, I want to get good at golf, most people are not going to say, I can teach myself how to do this.
Right. No, I mean,
they're going to go take lessons.
Swing and rotation with the hip, and
Get a pro.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Do you have to stand up and demonstrate every time, Michelle? Please, sit down.
Yeah, Tom, there is another range here that I don't know if you know who Congressman Ted Budd is, but he's an owner of a range near here, and every Tuesday, I think it's Tuesday night, or every first Tuesday night of the month, something along those lines, they actually offer a first-time shooter program for women. If they go by and they say, hey, look, it's my first time, I've never shot before, they get free rental, a free box of ammo, and a free lesson to actually go out in the range and shoot.
Good for them.
And I'm thinking the fifth or sixth time she tries that, they're going to catch on.
I didn't know ammo came in 4-round boxes, but that's cool.
Yeah, I'm still new. Yeah, you were here last month. Okay.
A little mustache, Groucho glasses.
That is terrific. Well, Hank, well done. And you might just give some thought to how you can gently help her do this. Maybe a class, maybe the suggestion that she get some of her buds together. And also, if you could find a place that has, and I know some ranges do, like women's night, that kind of a thing. It's just a little bit more inviting. So.
If he really loved her, he'd buy her own range. Just saying.
I thought you were going to say he would get her own Rock Island, but boy, you went big on that one.
Yeah, get her own rock.
Island. It's hard to negotiate.
I've done a good job, but it's not that good.
I'm gonna help Rock Island with their slogans here.
Well, it's hard to negotiate up, so I always go big, and you always work down.
Yeah. Work down. There you go. Well, that's terrific, and she has good taste because I am such a fan of the 9mm 1911. It is just what a sweetheart to shoot. Holy cow! That's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you, Hank. I appreciate that. Great call.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting me call in.
All right, you take care. All right, that is very cool. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back and we can. Let's just come back. What I was going to say, I'm not allowed to say because Michelle would just hurt me. It's just simple as that.
Caldwell's new AR-500 easy-to-see, easy-to-mount steel targets are ideal for competition, training, and recreation. These targets are made of AR-500 hardened steel, can withstand thousands of rounds of both handgun and rifle rounds, up to 3,000 feet per second, and are available in 7 sizes. Visit CaldwellShooting.com to outfit your range. And don't forget your EMAX Pro hearing protection to ring steel, not your ears. That's CaldwellShooting.com.
Mental health and guns. At Walk the Talk America, we are working with both the mental health community and the gun industry. Created by a gun industry veteran, Walk the Talk America seeks to raise awareness and create change through suicide prevention and firearm safety without legislation. We strive to eliminate the prejudice that firearms and mental health face. For more information and to support Walk the Talk America, please visit walkthetalkamerica.org.
All right, back from the break. Still thinking about 1911s in 9mm. I went to gun sight on it was the 100th anniversary of the 1911. And I decided I would shoot, we were all shooting 1911s, and I was going to shoot a different gun every day. Because why wouldn't you? Because it's stupid. Let's do that.
Sure.
But the day that I shot the 9mm 1911 was the most comfortable and just the most delightful. I actually tried to do one day of 10mm, couldn't do it at lunch that day. I had to switch off because I love the 10, but it's not a gun for me that I want to go put hundreds of rounds down range.
Yeah, were you shooting real man stopper ammo or?
Yeah, I had like real 10mm ammo, and it was like, okay, this was fun for an hour or two.
You think you could have made it with softer loads?
Maybe, and I did. I went with softer loads. They're called 9mm.
10 take away 1.
Yeah,
just take away 1.5 inch length.
Yeah, we'll just do that thing. And 45s are not bad, but I don't know what it is, man. There's just something about the 9 and a 1911. It's so sweet. Golly. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not a huge fan of the officer's model size. They're just small, and sometimes they're a little, and he mentioned malfunctions. It's harder to get a smaller 1911 to run reliably. The big ones are more reliable. I'm kind of a fan of the commander size. It's a shorter barrel, but the same size grip.
Yep.
Right. It's kind of in between, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the middle run, and I really like commanders for carry. I mean, you could make the argument that, hey, you're only saving an inch off the barrel, and what's the big deal? And that's certainly true. But what it does is it gives you a reason to buy another gun. So there it is.
Because we needed that.
Because Lord knows, that's right. So we should do a thing where we go out and shoot basically the same pistol, 1911, in 9, 45, and 10. That would be kind of fun, just to do a comparison of those.
1911 off.
Oh, yes. And I was just looking this week at some 10mm loads, kind of look at the spectrum. And like you said, there's some that are kind of not real powerful. And there's a couple of outfits, particularly by Buffalo Bore comes to mind. I'm looking at their stuff.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Oh, man, you're talking 180 to 200 grain bullets at 1,400.
Yep. That'll wake you up.
I don't know that I would want to put a steady diet of those through my gun to tear it up. But what's happened is a lot of people are going with 10s for their bear guns.
Yeah.
And no, it's not as good as a 44 Magnum. It just isn't. But if you want something that's slim and easy to carry and pretty good if you use good deep penetrating ammo, it's a pretty good option for you.
Yeah, and once you have all the 10 mil ammo, there's a nice segue into enabling somebody to buy a 10 millimeter revolver.
Oh, that's true.
See that? Just made another sale there for Smith.
Yeah, Smith's got that. I'm trying to remember. Doesn't Ruger
have one done?
Ruger's got a 10 millimeter revolver, doesn't it? I think so.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that Smith do.
Yeah. It's and they're fun. I mean, you got to use the full moon clips with them.
Right.
But not a big deal. They come with them. Right. Okay, now you got me. I'm going online looking.
Highly accurate pistol, by the way.
Yes. Dadgum you. Making me go look up guns. Dadgummit. There's a, ooh. Oh, this is brand new, too. Brand spanking new. We just got this one. I just picked it up at the store. The new Ruger GP100 in 9mm Luger. That's
kind of cool.
$1,550 revolver in 9mm. It's got a little short cylinder with the barrel actually extends into the yoke area. It's very weird looking. It's pretty much strictly a competition gun. But it's cool looking.
We'll have to get a couple of those this week, Michelle.
Eight shot 9mm, and other than when you think about it, other than competition, I'm not sure I fully understand the idea behind a 9mm revolver.
Just because.
Well, there's always that. That applies to everything, right?
Well, 8 rounds.
8 rounds. Nothing wrong with that.
Kind of hard to swap a cylinder out in the middle of a gunfight, but maybe those clips would do.
They when you got the full moon clips, those work as
your speed loaders.
Speed loaders. Yeah, they work really well actually.
Yep.
So that's kind of fun. So let's see. I'm looking at their SP101, which is really a fun revolver. That comes in the 327, doesn't it, Michelle? The SP101.
Yes. Last time I knew, because they had the 4-inch. I think they went to a 3.
I think they went to a 3. Yeah. And I like 3s.
Are you familiar with the 327?
Oh,
Michelle?
I've heard of it. I mean, Tom talked about it earlier on the show, so.
Yeah, a guy asked a question, so
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
There it is. Actually, they've got it in a 4.25-inch barrel in a 327, 6-shot 327, and they have it a 3-inch barrel 327. That would be nice. And then you can also get it in the Ruger compact revolver, right? The
The LCR.
LCR, light compact revolver. Yep. Which is a very lightweight revolver with a good trigger pull.
Yes, it is.
So in 327, and you get an extra. Do you get 6 rounds in that?
Yes.
You do. So you actually gain a round, which is really a nice advantage over a 38.
Yes.
I like that.
Me too. I have to think about that.
Yeah. How many do you have?
Well, I might have an SP-101. I might have the LCR. Yeah.
You might have. You might have a lever action
Maybe.
in 327. Yeah, you might. I don't know. Just perhaps.
So, coolest part of today's show to me, because I'm the only one that matters, really.
Oh, you were listening?
179 women got their permits
Yeah.
in Cincinnati, Ohio.
In an all-black Baptist church in Cincinnati, Ohio. They had signed up 200 people for it, but they had a heavy snow day. But even at that, 179 showed up and went through a 9-hour class and got their carry permits.
Wow.
That is cool. That's outreach, man.
That's amazing.
Well, it's that old deal of if you do it, they will come. If you set it up and you get the word out, people will come.
The other cool thing about that is we now have roughly 180 new ambassadors that are both shooters and women,
Right.
and minority. That's awesome.
It really is. It's
That
terrific.
helps the cause in general.
Now, talking about training, we have a thing going on here, which is not unusual. Other states have had the same thing. But in Louisiana, we had somebody introduce a bill into the legislature to allow constitutional carry, where you'd be able to carry concealed without having a permit. And you have the usual hubbub about that. He had a really interesting way of putting it. I thought it was kind of interesting. He said, well, we're going to get rid of the coat tax. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, you can carry openly here without a permit. But if you want to wear a coat, you have to pay $200. It's $100 for the class, and actually it's $125 for the permit.
So a couple $100 to conceal it, yeah.
Yeah, so it calls it the coat tax. I thought, well, that's interesting. But what we ran into, and I wanted you to consider this one, Michelle, we ran into at least one concealed carry instructor who said, well, I'm going to oppose that. I'll speak out against it. I said, well, what's going on? He said, well, people need training. I said, well, yeah, people do need training, but, he said, well, yeah, you just haven't seen the people come through that I have, and yada, 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 and all this stuff. And I said, it's really about you losing money, isn't it?
Oh.
Well, there it is. I mean, that's what it is. And he said, well, yeah, because if people can carry without having to take the permit, the class, then they won't get the training. I said, so you're willing to sell out the Second Amendment as long as you make some money out of the deal. Oh. Hey.
But I talk about all the time, too. I don't even think it's proper that we have to ask for permission to be able to conceal carry.
There you go. See, that's the answer is there should be no such thing as a concealed carry permit.
Right. I mean, we just heard, 2 weeks ago, one of the county sheriff's departments talking about how much money they've lost because laws have changed in the area. Well, they were making money off of concealed carry permits. They
were making money by licensing your constitutional right.
Right. So, and it's not to say that they still wouldn't be busy with doing private lessons. So maybe you don't have a class of 20 or 30 people, but if, you still pose yourself out there, you'd have lessons, or you could still do public classes for people who are concealed carrying.
Interesting you say that, because I put something about this on Facebook, or actually on Twitter, and John Lott responded to it.
Oh, what did he say?
John Lott, of course, the key Second Amendment researcher, he says, then people who say that haven't looked at our research. He says, what we're finding is that in states where we get constitutional carry, we have an increase in people taking classes.
Sure you do.
Because now, instead of maybe 5 or 10% of the population carrying, you may have 30 or 40% of the people who want to carry, but they say, I need to take a class. Now, I would offer, and if you are offering good classes, instead of basically being a checker at the toll gate.
Pencil pusher, yeah.
You know, basically you're the guy working the toll gate where people have to come through to get their permit, and you say, give me $100, give me $100, give me $100, you know, because that's your business plan, is basically being a toll gate taker for the government. But if you offer a good class, people will come and sign up. But Lott says, yeah, he says, we've actually seen an increase in the number of people taking classes when you get constitutional carry. That was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, like, think about it, though. The average person, a lot of people can't afford a high dollar firearm, so they buy a firearm so they have something in their home. But because they can't afford to do the classes and can't afford to apply for a permit, they never have the intention of having it outside of their home. Well, if you eliminated that.
Or they carry illegally.
Well, I'm sure.
You know, just because they can't, I mean, not because they're trying to do anything bad, it's just they can't afford I mean, in many cases, it's $200 to $300 to take the class and to pay for the license itself.
And there's reason for some people to be in fear of their life.
No kidding. You know. Now, the other thing is, if you still want to have reciprocity, you're going to need to have a permit. So states that have concealed carry, or constitutional carry rather, still offer the permit, and a lot of people still get the permit because otherwise, unless you're going to another state that has constitutional carry, you're not going to be able to carry.
Yeah, see, I guess the instructor you were talking about, Tom, I guess I would have just, because I'm more of a smartass, I would have just mucked up the waters with. So what you're really saying is open carry people don't need training.
That's really it, yes.
Just throw them off, you know?
Yeah. You go, what? Yeah, well, you're okay with open carry, and those people don't have to get training.
Right.
You're just not okay with concealed carry people not getting training.
Right.
Now,
That's a good
the
point.
other thing is we've got 16 states, it's either 16 or 17 states that have constitutional carry. In none of them have we seen an increase in accidents or in bad shoots.
Right.
So people say, well, but if we do that, blah, blah. I say, stop. Arguing about what will happen is like you and me sitting here and arguing about how tall is that door. We already have the information. Grab the tape measure and measure it. We know what has happened in these other states. We know that it's not an issue. So it's silly, foolish, and childish to sit here and go, yeah, but if we do that, then this could happen, and you already know what's going to happen. This is very much like, remember back 20, 25 years ago when concealed carry was making its way across all these states, and we would have the same argument in state after state, even though it had never happened, every fender bender was going to be a shootout, yada, 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 road rage, this, no, it never happened.
Except it didn't, right?
Yeah, except that it didn't, yeah. And after a while, you start to look really stupid when you say things like that, when the track record is that doesn't happen.
That's potentially because we're the people that are the law-abiding citizens. I mean, that could be a reason. I'm just saying.
The data I was just looking at, actually looking at some more John Lott data, is that people with carry permits commit felonies at a rate of 1/7 that of police officers.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I understand. Once you get to constitutional carry, that's not the same as concealed carry. It's not the same as people who've had the background check. I get all of that. But we do have a pretty good track record with 16 states now. But for those concealed carry instructors who are saying, yeah, but I'll lose all these classes. Yeah, if you're really bad at teaching, and a lot of them are really bad.
Yeah, God forbid you teach tactics.
I've been to some of these classes, and they're really bad. I have been with some of the concealed carry instructors, and they are some of the scariest people in handling guns I've ever been around in terms of just being careless. So, yeah, if you suck at your business and you no longer have the government subsidy of the concealed carry classes, your business is going to suffer.
Gee, how do you really feel, Tom?
I should think about that a little bit.
Yeah, I like when someone says, oh, yeah, but these gun laws, if we loosen them, we'll have the Wild Wild West. I would hope so. The Wild West was actually very peaceful.
Very safe.
Yeah, it was. Statistically, all the shootouts and stuff are movies. It wasn't real life.
What?
Sorry to shatter you,
You
Michelle.
mean the movies are not real?
Stop.
I mean, really. I mean, the shootouts you hear about in the streets and stuff were like super, 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 super rare. You had to check your gun in a lot of doors in saloons. They had gun checks.
By the way, I just went to see Call of the Wild movie.
Yeah?
The new Harrison Ford movie.
How was it?
You got to do a big buy-in. You got to really check your skepticism at the door. Do you know that the dog is completely computer
I was
generated?
going to say, yeah.
It's a CG dog, the whole thing. But the movie was good. We enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a sucker for dogs. I'm a sucker for the Northland and all the rest of it. The end of it was a little bit goofy and, okay, fine. But if you can do the willful suspension of disbelief and just enjoy it for what it is, I think you'd enjoy it a lot.
I'd like to get a CG dog. Protect the house. Yeah, you don't have
so
to
you could delete it. So you could just delete it when you wanted to.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about feeding it, letting it out.
Yeah,
just program it to
Yeah, and then you could run its bark through a big subwoofer and scare away the bad guys.
Sure. Subwoofer. See.
See what he did there.
God.
All right, it's time to go now. You're welcome.
Yeah. We're not going to hit lower than that. So.
That's what we were just thinking. It's time for Michelle to go now.
Bye, y'all.
She was just looking for permission to leave.
Bless our hearts, right?
She's already got her purse on her shoulder. She's out the door. Just get out of here.
Oh, my goodness.
So what are you carrying today?
I don't know.
A Gucci?
I don't know. None of your business. That's right. None of your business.
That's right.
Did I ever tell you about the friend? I was sitting in a restaurant, and he's a local lawyer. He came up, and I had on a photographer's vest, tactical type vest. Everybody says that's the shoot me first vest, except nobody ever does. I don't worry about it. I wear them.
Those are film canisters, not magazines.
Yeah, all right. So he came around. He's patting around my waist. He says, "What are you carrying today?" And
wow,
I said,
you know this person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I said nothing. Yeah, really? And I mean, he put his hand right on my gun. He couldn't feel it. He couldn't tell. I've had that happen before. People say, "Oh, are they bumping it?" They don't know what it is.
See, I have a smart care. I just hope somebody does that.
Oh my gosh, it's time to go.
He's crotch carrying. Okay.
So, see if I have a gun. Try me.
So he says, a little lower. Well, do you have a gun?
Do you have a gun? Should have seen that coming.
Oh God. It always starts off so nicely.
Yeah.
It always ends up down here in the gutter. So there it is. I'm just thinking that might say something more about us than about anything else, but I'm sure that's not true.
No.
Can't be.
No.
Okay, so let's see. Could I throw out a hint? Yeah, I could do it. We're coming up on the 25th anniversary show.
Oh.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
So on the air for 25 years. Jim, by the way, did you get the files I sent?
I did get some files you sent, yes.
Okay. That is show number 1.
Okay.
We actually have the recording for show number 1 right there.
Sweet.
Very cool. And we're going to have one of the people who was on show number 1 going to be on our show in 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's
is that you?
Cool.
Yeah. It's Tom.
Damn it, you gave it away.
Dadgummit.
No.
Oh, okay. You had a guest. All right.
I had a guest. It was fun. We had a fake guest because, of course, on show number 1, you don't have any callers.
Right.
Right.
You're doing what?
We're faking the callers. We're doing whatever we can do. And I'd never been on radio before, ever, as a guest or anything else. I'm just making it up. I have no idea what we're doing here.
If you would have accepted collect calls back then, you probably would have had participation.
That's true. Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, we heard what you're doing so far, and the only way we're going to participate is if it's on your dime.
That's right. Actually, you're going to have to pay us to call in. Okay, simple as that. Oh, God. So, which would be cool. Another form of payola, which is a good old radio tradition, right?
You got it.
Oh, man. So, 2 weeks. Yeah, that is 2 weeks from today. We're going to do the 25th anniversary show. Mm-hmm. We got Nugent. We got some other folks lined up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And let's see, we might even be working on a project.
Oh.
Mum's the word.
Well, I will see. It's one of those, until it happens, you better not talk about it because stuff has a way of going south on you right at the last minute. So we'll work on it. But we'll have something. I'm just not sure when we'll have it ready to announce, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. So I'm thinking 25 years, pull the plug. We're done.
Oh, I was thinking diamonds. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. Wait a minute, 25 is silver, isn't it?
Silver.
They're all diamonds.
Like I said, you start big. You start big, you can always negotiate down.
I thought you would have known this by now. You've been married for quite a while,
They're
Tom.
all diamonds.
I mean, and if it's on a silver band, it's okay.
But if it's not, that's okay too.
Yeah, that's right.
Platinum looks silver. So there's that, it's okay.
Oh, my.
So, Or I could use silver tip bullets, you know. That's,
playful there you are, yes.
Was this Yoda you got in here?
Playful you are.
Oh, Lordy.
Open the blast doors. It's time to go.
I thought you said open the blasted doors. Oh, that's a different thing. Okay. Oh, gosh. I've given her all she got, Captain. All righty. Well, that means it's time to leave because everybody else already has. So
Sorry,
anybody who has a clue is long gone.
Oh, it's just them talking? No callers? Oh, we're out of here.
Oh, it's like your first show.
There's got to be nasty.
That's right. It was.
You sure there's not NASCAR on somewhere?
No. Oh, listen, let me tell you how bad. When people hear it, we're going to put it up as a podcast. When you hear it, you're going, oh, my God, that's awful. It was awful. It was just
and you think after 25 years it would have gotten better.
No. I thought, look, you know what? If we could pull it off, do that for the first, and we could do that every time.
We're teaching America tolerance.
Don't mess with a good thing. Well, but it wasn't good. That's right. Roll with me.
That's right. Go with me. Oh, now you're doing Joe Biden word salad. Just say words that don't mean anything.
Yeah, dog face pony soldier.
Dog face pony soldier. Oh, boy. Yeah, he's out of here.
Yeah. As are we.
Oh, wow.
Was that nice?
That was a nice segue.
Bam. Segue the week goes to Jim. Start on my forehead.
So I'd like to get a segue. I'd like to actually put a machine gun on a Segway.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be fun?
It would be cool.
It would be a little front heavy.
And when you shoot it, you're just going to go backwards. Oh, viral video right there.
How's the recoil? About 30 feet.
What you do is you got to get up forward speed before you shoot.
Nice.
Oh, and with that, I'm shopping for Segway. All righty, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for checking out the after show. And don't forget to join the Gun Talk Truth Squad at guntalk.com and grab Gun Dealio for your smartphone. It'll save you money on guns, ammo, and more.